Okay, we're going to call to order the Unsafe Building Commission meeting for Tuesday, September 16th, 2025. Sienna, if you'll call the roll.
Diane Whitehead.
Here.
Terry Hillard.
Here.
In your packet, there's approval of minutes. If there are no questions or concerns, I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
Second.
Been a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the August meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Proof of publication.
Thank you. We do have a proof of publication. It has the items on the agenda for the public hearings that are occurring. I also have two other recorded notices for the rehearings on the bids, but the actual proof of publication is in order. It states the time, date, place, and items on the hearing. So I would ask the board to make a motion to accept the proof of publication.
Make a motion to accept the proof of publication.
Second.
Been a motion and a second to approve the proof of publication. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's hard to say, proof of publication. All right, if anyone here is going to speak today, if you'll stand up and get sworn in.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, our first property is going to be, property under old business is to open the floor for public hearing to discuss the bids received in connection with 108 North 17th. Anybody wishing to speak on the bids received for this property, please come to the podium and state your name and address for the record. Okay. Seeing none, public hearing will now be closed.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Code Enforcement Department and move forward with seeking the contract to award for 108 North 17th Street based on the bids received by the Board of Works.
Second. There's been a motion and a second to approve 108 North 17th Street. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The next property under old business is to open the floor for public hearing to discuss the bids received in connections with 1030 South 8th Street. Anybody wishing to speak on the bids received on this property, please come to the podium and state your name and address for the record. Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. The board will now entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Code Enforcement and move forward with seeking the contract and award for the 1030 South 8th Street based on the bids received by the Board of Works.
Second. It's been a motion and a second to approve the property at 1030 South 8th Street. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Under new business, we'll start with 30 North 15th Street. This is a cost hearing. Mr. Henry?
30 North 15th Street, owner Michael J. and Marjorie Sell. Property is set vacant for several years. The structure had attracted many homeless, police, fire, had numerous calls to this location. The interior was in deplorable condition. Fire hazard with broken windows. Neighbors and business in the area had safety concerns. Code enforcement took actions to seal the broken windows and secure the back of the building. Of course, this is the front of the building. It sits at 30 North 15th. Interior, the structure was like this throughout the building. Almost every room, trash and debris. There was a little foyer where homeless was building fires because it was mistaken as the building being on fire. Fire department was called there many times. There was flammables and different things there. The broken windows. This is the exterior of the building. After we secured the front and windows that were broken, this picture to the left was the south side of the building, which borders a car lot. There were no broken windows at the time on this side of the building. This is North 8th Street, where the upper windows that had broken glass were secured. You may notice these bottom windows, which may appear like they're broken, but it's plastic on the inside of the windows that were just torn down. So, according to resolution number 1-2025, the city of Richmond could collect any fees associated with the cleanup and sealing of this property. Also, notice of emergency cleaning of unsafe premises located at that address was sent. It's an invoice from Red Dog Enterprises for a sum of $3,800. So with the fees of $1,740, we have $5,500. $1,200. I didn't write that down, unfortunately. So we're just asking to recover the cost of $3,800 plus the $14 or $1,740 added onto that for administrative costs.
It'll be 5540. 5540.
Yeah.
Is there anyone in the audience to speak to the property at 30 North 15th Street? Okay. Seeing none, make the motion to affirm and acknowledge the administrative lien cost to be applied to the property located at 30 North 15th Street, owned by Michael and Marjorie Sell as owner of the premises.
Second.
Been a motion and a second to approve the cost amount. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, 813 and 815 South 8, cost hearing.
Yeah, 813, 815 South A. Again, the owner is Michael Sell. Property was occupied by homeless with trash and debris on the inside. Upstairs was so deplorable that when police made entry, they just backed out of the upstairs. It was pretty bad. So we have a cost of sealing of $2,068.86 with administrative cost of $1,740 for a total of $3,808.86. Again, there's order, claim, demand for payment listed here with the original cost of $3,808.86. This is an invoice for the cleanup and sealing of $2,068.86. Also, a purchase order had been issued. This is the property afterwards, when the property was sealed up, cleaned up. Prior to the cleanup and sealing, doors were unsecured, trash and debris. This is the inside of the structure. This was pretty much throughout the building. The upstairs was such that it seemed like there was a lot of feces upstairs from dogs and things, and we never really made complete entry to the upstairs due to a hazardous situation, and the police again backed out of it. So at this time, we're asking for the total cost of $3,808.86.
Is there anyone here today to speak to the property at 813, 815 South A Street? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to affirm and acknowledge the administrative cost to be applied to the property located at 813, 815 South A, owned by Michael J. and Marjorie Sell as the owner of the premises.
Second.
And a motion and a second to approve the cost. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Okay, 201 North 12th Street.
201 North 12th Street, Richmond, Indiana. Owner is Michael Taylor. This is an out-of-state property owner. The property has been vacated for several years. The homeless had taken over the property, trash and debris, broken windows, doors, several police calls, and a real nuisance property. We took steps to clean up and seal the property. Cost of cleanup and sealing was $2,645. Administrative cost $1,740 for a total of $4,385. Board of Public Works, again, resolution number 1-2025 allows the city of Richmond to collect any cost of cleanup and sealing plus administrative costs. We have an order, demand, claim, and demand for payment for $4,385.08. We have an invoice for the cleanup and sealing of $2,645.08. Also, a purchase order issued for $2,645.08. This is 201 North 12th. After it was sealed up, the basement was terrible, standing water, feces in buckets in the basement, along with trash and debris on the property. There were signs of drug use on the property. The property was cleaned up and sealed. The owner had sent us a check for the amount of a lesser amount that we had settled for, but that check was post-dated by 3 months, so we rejected that check, and he's supposed to reissue one, but at this time, we haven't received any payment on that. So we're asking for $4,385 at this time.
Anyone in the audience to speak to 201 North 12th Street? Okay. Seeing no one, I'll make a motion to affirm and acknowledge the administrative lien costs to be applied to the property located at 201 North 12th Street, owned by Michael Taylor as the owner of the premises.
Second.
Been a motion and a second for the property at 201 North 12th Street. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. Okay, moving on to 125 South 12th Street.
Okay, 125 South 12th, and Miss King is here in the audience at the time, the owner, Rachel Diddy. The garage was in severe disrepair, falling down. Numerous letters have been sent since October 2024, actually as far back as 2020, along with fines. There had been no response at the time from the listed property owners until received notice of emergency action that we were taking. The property had fallen into disrepair with broken windows, trash, debris, and operable vehicles. There's some flammable containers, no utilities, fires in the backyard, along with trash and debris. There have been numerous police calls there with overdoses and fights. Just deplorable conditions inside, feces in the basement, bathroom, trash and debris, which would cause a fire hazard to the property. This dates back to 2024, just courtesy letters sent for the garage. At the time, we didn't have any response. This too is for trash and debris in the backyard and the long alleys that needed removed. And 12/18/24, trash and debris on the property and inoperable vehicles. This is 12/18, which was a $100 fine issued due to the garage. 12/18, another courtesy letter, trash and debris removed from the property. The garage, another fine was issued for the condition of the garage, 1/7/2025. This is again a fine for $100, and these are all minimum amounts that we can issue. Trash and debris on the property. Another courtesy letter concerning the camper and vehicles. One of the vehicles was removed and the camper relocated. So after this fine was issued right here. This is a health department notice from the health department, which you should have in front of you, concerning the utilities, no utilities, just the conditions of the property. This is back to 10/9/2024. You can see several broken windows in the front of the structure. The garage, just trash and debris. And 10/9/24. (12/18/24). And 12/18/24, more pictures. In January 25, there was still the same conditions. This vehicle had been removed. The backyard still had a lot of trash and debris, which a lot of the snow is covered at this point. The backyard with refrigerators. There was a propane tank over here in this corner and a couple flammable cans, such as gas cans or something in the backyard. This is 8/21, when Aaron Jordan went out with us just to confirm the condition of the garage. Of course, the backyard and the garage there. This is actually Aaron there and Luke from the health department at that time. More of the garage in the backyard. The interior, the basement area, kind of self-explanatory with a suitcase and a camping chair being used for a toilet. Inside the property, just the conditions, full of trash, which creates a hazard in itself. People were actually staying on the property with no utilities and living in these conditions. 8/28, when notices were hung on all doors, which was an emergency cleanup and sealing and emergency vacate of the property. More postings. Then after the cleanup, the property looks tremendously better. This property, at this point, any repairs that can be made to it, the owner, young lady, had pretty much a clean slate to kind of start over with this property if they wish to do so. There's no longer anyone there. Even though there's evidence that someone between the cleanup and today had removed this plywood and has been in the property at some point. But there hasn't been anyone that we actually saw going and coming. The property at this point is the reason for the cleanup and sealing of the property. Ms. King is here to speak on behalf of the property.
Is someone here to speak on the property at 125 South 12th? If you'll come to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
Hi, my legal name's Carol L. Keene, K-E-I, H as in Helen, N as in Nancy, and my mailing location is 1316 Boyer Street, Richmond, Indiana. 47374. So I'm here to speak for the property, is that right, Bill? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
For the property. I'm here actually because my daughter has a traumatic brain injury, and I informed Bill about it in mid-August. She has a traumatic brain injury. And I'm allowed to bring that out in public, but she has one, and I asked Bill to work with me. We wanted to do a plan to do something with the property. She didn't receive legal notice ever until August 28th. She signed for it, and it went to 127 South 12th, which is AKA 125, also known as 127 South 12th. That's not included on any of the paperwork. That was her residence up until mid-August of this year. Her items were still in the house. And the people that broke in, it has been reported. The police, there's a report going out now, they stole the water heater and all the plumbing, and they were told reportedly by B&B. And I have witnesses. Wayne Richardson is his name, and another contractor that we hired to demolish the garage, and it was partly demolished when we were stopped because Bill told me that his boss told him that B&B Construction had won a bid on it, and I had until Thursday, September the 11th to complete it. He stopped what they were doing, and we were cleaning it up, and we had paid the person as well, part of the money. They didn't get to finish the job, though. So they moved in, and they did a great job. It looks great, but we should have been afforded the opportunity, especially since I told you that I expected my community to act better. If I told you my daughter had a traumatic brain injury, I didn't expect for you to move. I'm just stating a fact. I did not expect for him to move for an emergency all the way around, and there's a couple of other points. In October of 2024, you stated on the record that this house was that these actions were from October of 2023. That is not true. It was from October of 2024. It states it on the meeting minutes of October 2024. It's on the record that, Bill, you made a comment that it went back to 23. That's not true, and these were not shown to me as courtesy letters. You told me there was a bid already done. We could not receive a work order or anything. I didn't know these were courtesy letters at all. You never called them courtesy letters to me. You told me that you were going to help me. And what happened was there was no help. You stopped us from cleaning it up. You stopped us. You did stop us from cleaning it up. We were trying to complete it, and we had to stop, and they waned.
The property, and I understand the situation.
But you did tell me
And-
that. It was
and-
to help.
I did tell you that.
Yes.
I did. And Ms. King has been really a communicator between this department and him and her daughter. The property is still, even though the situation is as it was, the property had sat like this for a long time.
But I told you that I was in Pennsylvania caring for someone, and as soon as I found out about it, I came to you, and I did expect a little more help than you moving for an emergency when it had been sitting there this whole time, and nobody moved to do anything, and
And
I
the
just needed a few days.
The emergency was prior to us talking, and then you found out.
You didn't tell me about the emergency prior to us. You did that after I told you that. That is I am swearing to God that is a fact. Bill, you did that after I told you, and you said you'd help, and you did not help us. You stopped us from completing what we could have done maybe just as well as you all did, but you stopped us, and there are witnesses to that.
Okay, I mean, you can,
I'm just stating a fact that I can prove.
but the conditions of this property were just to
Correct. They are deplorable. It's awful, and I do want to say something. Every time you folks have your meetings, because I watch them all the time, every time you have them, you talk about homeless and squatters. These are drug addicts. We have a drug problem in Richmond. It's not going to go away. We're not doing anything to house these people either or rehabilitate them. So it's not going to go away until somebody steps up in management and starts making a difference in their lives. They have nowhere to go. They're just going to go to the next abandoned house. I saw a young lady, Hispanic, crying. And Diana, you told her she could get some help with counseling, and that they were offering some counseling over. She said, I have to leave my home. They burn it down. They threatened to burn Rachel's house. They burned a house on 13th and B. 2 years prior, that was Rachel's house, and they burnt it because she put them out. They threatened, she's afraid of them. She didn't want to put them out. I wanted them out. I wanted to help her to correct the only property she has left of her dead father's. And he also had a house at 127 North 12th that was subject to a order in 2023, by the way, and it was treated the same way. And I don't know if it was a double or not, but this house is a double. So at your meeting of July of 2025, Kim was talking about the houses on 310 and 310 and a half. I think North 10th. But anyway, at the last meeting, she said 310 and AKA 310 and a half. I think that a residential property, 127, should have been included in on everything. It makes it look not okay because you sent those to her address, and that was her residence up until mid-August officially. She was put out of it effectively, and they broke down her doors, and B&B contractors, there's witnesses, told the boys and girls that lived there, the drug addicts, that they could come back after they left. They didn't care what they did.
I don't have any knowledge of what B&B.
But you were there that day.
But I wasn't there when they were talking with the people that were there.
You were there. There's a
I
tape.
wasn't privy to it.
Well, you may not have been, but you were there, and Rachel was
but-
upset about them locking her items out of the house.
But what we have here is a situation where the property had gotten in such shape.
I understand that it was in
And we
such
agree-
shape, but the
we
way
agree.
that, no, we did not agree. No, I agreed, I wanted you to
See,
help
this-
me.
This is a little bit of our discussion. I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying you didn't let me finish.
Well, go ahead, I didn't try to
Saying
stop
that
you, go
we
ahead.
agree that the property was in deplorable condition.
Yes.
And, that she inherited the property.
She
from her-
won the property in court. Judge
Okay.
Todd did a judgment on this property. There were no other interested parties that were listed.
Sure.
And I'm a party of interest in that case, and Judge Todd ruled in our favor, and I wrote the brief.
And unfortunately, she's got a property that she can't support.
I can help her
Maintain.
support it. I'm
Okay.
back, and I told you
Okay.
that. And I
Okay.
told you that I could pay the back taxes, and I went to pay the fees, and you have doubled the fees. Your own
There-
girl gave me the papers. There's two $300 fees. One went to 125 and one went to 127.
They might have, but it's same
They did.
property.
And it's $600, not 300 then.
It's actually more than that, but.
Well, she gave me all that she had.
But we have a property that has fallen
What are the
into
fees?
disrepair, and it's created, a problem.
Safety,
not
and we
only
were
for-
fixing it. We were
for
fixing
you
it.
guys.
We were fixing it. You know that. We were fixing it.
Okay. I presented.
It was down. We
I
demolished
presented
most
my
of it.
case to-
He brought the
thank you.
B&B in. It was down to the ground, and he brought B&B in and interfered with us going by and doing a lawful thing, following your orders.
Okay.
Bill, that is what you did.
All right. Do you have anything else for us?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Yes, I certainly do. Just one moment. So my daughter has a traumatic brain injury. She was upset about her doors being busted open by 3 detectives. There were 3 detectives and several police that showed up with Bill to enforce this order. First of all, today, this house is being treated as if back then these were courtesy letters. Bill did not have any lay on this house back in 2024 or 2025. He only got it when I told him that my daughter was disabled. Then he did tell me he would help to get the people out. He had some pull with the police, that is what you said. That didn't happen either. The people went back in, and they've taken the water pipes and the water heater. They took all Rachel's stuff that she had locked that was her personal items, and there's a tape recording to that effect. And my daughter, and I got on her about it. Her and Bill got into it. It was over Bill, and I have several tapes, but I'm just going to play one. Her and Bill got into it, and here, mind you, my daughter has a traumatic brain injury, and she is upset because her things.
Put it to the
Talking to the
microphone.
police.
Put it to the microphone.
Zach and Tasha just kept, I'm not gonna go through this with the cops. Bill asked me to come in and tell
And
you
I
guys
wasn't there. I was in
doors
the
was
hospital
locked,
with my
so
mother.
nobody
We can hear that or you, not both.
So is somebody gonna go get another lock to lock my stuff up? No, the whole room in there, that's the only stuff that I got left that they didn't get into.
they're boarding up the house.
Right.
So we have to make sure that.
And there's nobody in here. There wasn't anybody in here to begin with.
This is 127.
Where's that? I'm looking for that bill guy. Good. He great lose his damn job. So they've already busted the doors down. They've already busted my doors down. The locks and everything. It's not going to be a oh well. I own this property. There was nobody inside. This is malicious, literally harassment. There's been nobody inside. Okay, well, you make sure because it's going to be your job on the line, too. Yeah, it will. This is against the law. This is against the law.
I've been over backwards. I did every fucking thing in the world to help you.
You ain't helped me shit. I own this property.
Yeah.
You guys are stealing off of
Fucking
me.
year.
Is this the way a county commissioner talks?
I ain't county commissioner.
You work down there, so don't come up on me. If you enter my personal space, I will
Listen
defend
up.
myself.
Don't yell at me across
If
the
you
damn
enter
street
my
and
personal
start
space,
crying.
I will defend myself. I didn't threaten you. I said your job, and literally they're busting my shit up, and you're not doing nothing. So can I come to your house? That's the police in there. And you're right, you're not. I'm getting ready to call the cops on all y'all. Good.
Okay. All right, so your issue is with, I mean, you knew the property was in deplorable conditions. The notices have been sent.
She never received the notice until August the 28th, and it was on 125, not her personal residence, which was 127.
On the property card, it's going to say.
I understand this, but I understand 310.
Can you not interrupt her while she's speaking?
310 and a half.
Can you please not interrupt her while
I
she's
will
speaking?
not interrupt her anymore. I'm just making a point here that I've already made.
Correct. So notices were sent. You did say that her residence was 127. If the notices were sent to 127, then she should have received them.
Mm-hmm.
You also acknowledged that there was something received by her on October of 2024.
No? I said that the meeting of October the 2024, he mentioned 2023, the wrong year, and also in none of the meeting minutes from the
So
last,
she's received none of the communication.
She was in the hospital off and on too with this
Someone
brain injury.
should, if,
And living at my house,
how did she, our job
right?
is to see the condition of a property.
Right.
And acknowledge or not.
And we were working on it before any emergency order. And there was, I called it a premature order when I talked to Bill.
Okay. This property's been in this condition for quite some time.
And we were working on it. We finished half the job for the B&B crew. Because we hired someone to come in and demolish it and clean it up, and we were working on it.
Okay, and did you have communication with
Yes.
with that office?
With
They
Bill.
knew that you were cleaning it up?
Yes. He said his boss told him that he had to come in, and we had till September the 11th, and I talked to Matthew Keller yesterday, and he said that was not true.
You had until September the 11th to do
To
what?
what? To clean it up. He gave us 3 days to clean it up. He gave us 3 days, and then he brought in B&B. He said they'd already accepted the bid, and his boss told him that he had to, he could not give us any more time. I asked for the weekend, and he said no. That his boss told him that, and his boss told me yesterday, clear as day, he said, I did not tell him that. I didn't even know anything about this.
What date did B&B come and do the,
On September the 11th, they blocked us from working. Yep, and we complied. We did what we were lawfully to do. We complied, we backed off, but the people were there, and they were not allowed to work. And the house was never an issue until the emergency that happened with the health department. Bill called him in because he was helping me, he said. So what happened was the house was now included on this emergency order. And it was deplorable. I can't get it, I wouldn't even go in there. I was gonna hire hazmat and pay, there's a back tax due, a sewage lien, and the fines, and I'm going to pay them and help her. This is the last property she has. And we were working on cleaning it up. In all fairness, we were cleaning it up and we were stopped. Or they were. I paid, Christopher's Towing was part of this, and they're a city contractor, and they got paid. They towed off some things, and then they helped us demolish it. And it was taken down when they started taking it away. So I've never seen a contract either, or a warrant, or an order, or anything. It's just, I called it a premature order because of the way the ordinance, or the resolution and then ordinance was written. Kind of puts the safety of the people first, I understand that, but the garage, when I found out about this, I told Rachel we have to address it, and I called Bill. He didn't call me, nobody found me. I called him and I talked to him and told him my daughter has a traumatic brain injury, and I need help with this, we want to repair it. And within a matter of 2 to 3 weeks, we were just stopped completely, and I was working on it. Bill was going to help me. Correct, Bill? You were going to help me?
That's correct.
That
And
didn't
in
fit.
2 or 3 weeks, it was still there.
We were,
Part of it was torn down, or I should say was on the ground.
it was, they were working on it, and there was trucks rented and equipment rented too. We were working on it, and we were stopped. We only had 3 days, 3 days from Monday until Thursday. Thursday, he said, you have to have it all done, and we tried and tried all day and all night. Some of them weren't trying to get it done. We should have been given a little more time, and he told me his boss said that he could not give me more time, and his boss told me yesterday, Matthew Keller, that was not true. He did not tell him that.
Did you not get a copy of this health department?
I called the health department, and yes, I did, and I'm the one who wanted the health department to go and look, because there are drug addicts all over our city in the abandoned homes. They're not homeless, and they're not squatters. They're actually drug addicts.
I agree with you, and that's an issue for the police department, not this
The
board.
people don't bring it up in this meeting. They bring up squatters and homeless for some reason.
Okay. This was dated August the 21st. Health Department, I think, takes precedent on most everything. They say it's unfit for human habitation.
Right, and I talked to Luke today, and right after that, he said, Carol, he goes, the feces are up, now you need to get the water turned on. So that was it, and that's what I was told by the health department, Luke. And I contacted him right away, and I'm not slighting anyone. I want a safe community as well. I'm a law-abiding woman that has lived here since I've been 21. I've lived through the All-American City. I knew you when you worked at Wayne Works. I've lived here for a very long time. I'm trying to tell you that I tried to correct the property, and Bill stopped me, and I feel that he treated us very, very unfairly, and he told me a lie. If what Matthew says is correct, Bill told me that his boss said that he could not give me any more time. He had to use B&B. That is the way it was. That is exactly what happened.
Okay. Again, this board, this commission just oversees the information that's brought to us,
Based on what the inspectors state.
the inspectors and the health department.
And the health department, that's correct.
In the photos and in the statement from the health department, this was a property that needed to be taken care of 6 months ago. A long time
She didn't
ago.
have notice. She did not have notice until August the 28th, and when she did, I came forth, or I wouldn't have came forth. In a good faith effort, I came forth and talked to Bill. I was fixing it.
Okay, how are notices sent? Are they sent just through the mail? Do you need to sign for anything? You signed for something.
August the 28th of this year, she did sign for something, and she signed at 125. That's where they gave her notice, not at 127, although the letter was stated at 127. 127 is not showing up as an address.
To us, that's the same property, 125, 127. That's the same.
Two addresses,
That's
yes.
the same structure.
Right?
Okay,
2 addresses.
correct. So
So-
notices aren't received.
Well, there was a proof of publication that was done in
Okay.
July, and that was not okayed properly by you. The motion wasn't carried or granted. If you
So
look back at your
a
meeting.
prior order Whether a prior order was issued and received, I cannot speak to that right now. I can say that I have coached code enforcement staff that sometimes you are in the middle of a process and something becomes an emergency.
Correct.
So if that happens, we have to issue what we call internally a courtesy letter. It was sent on August 26th by the law department. It was sent to 127 South 12th and then copied 1206 South 5th. I copied, I'm not going to name them off, but various other
Right.
individuals who would have been on any prior order. Also copied the Wayne County Commissioners, the Wayne County Health Department. I probably would have blind copied RP&L because there were no electric utilities. And then I automatically include occupants at 125 and 127 South. So I did both addresses, 125, 127. So I cannot really speak to what they did or didn't get. When we have an emergency, really this letter is not required, but when something evolves into an emergency, we send out this letter. But they know that if this is an imminent emergency, this thing is about to fall down and this thing could catch fire and there's human waste on the property, and the health department, police have to get involved. If something does evolve into an emergency, that's where the city takes action. And I don't, again, I'm not going to go into all the logistics on whatever hearsay
Right.
was presented. This board cannot make decisions
Correct.
solely on hearsay.
I'm not
So-
doing hearsay. I'm
Okay.
You
not-
said that Matt said, so.
No,
I just want- I'm
Matt told me.
instructing- I'm just
Matt
instructing
told
you,
me,
I'm just
Matthew told
instructing
me
you, I'm just
yesterday.
instructing you as the board
What is
So-
the date?
that you cannot
Oh,
make
yes,
your
you just
decision
said.
solely based on hearsay.
Okay, so we've seen the pictures, we've heard, we understand that it did become an emergency, and that is what we need to act.
Came an
on.
emergency after I told him my
If we-
daughter was disabled.
If you have issue with the
I
performance
know.
or the, how things were handled, that.
I want to
is
tell you that Rachel's to be,
Please let her finish speaking, ma'am. I think you've been given ample opportunity for your
I
testimony.
know what I've been
I need
given,
you to
and I am-
respect her position as the board
I'm
president.
trying to,
Let her
Kim.
finish speaking.
Stop berating me.
Please let her finish.
Okay, so
Please.
the procedure would be, if you have issue with the code office of code enforcement, go there and have your issues with them. If you have issues with the police department, have issues with them. We have no authority over either one of those departments.
Mm-hmm.
Our only job is to uphold or not the emergency action taken by them, which was to seal a property that was deemed an emergency through the health department and the code enforcement. That's all we can do,
we sealed most of it.
okay? What would
We were in the
you like?
process.
What would you like to have happen today?
I would like you to know that anything that gets served from this day forward for Rachel Ditty, Rachael Ditty, comes to 1316 Boyer Street, Richmond, Indiana, 47374, as Kim Vessels has stated in one of her, one of the meetings that you have, or hearings. This is a hearing now, correct? Okay. And then I'd like Kim to tell me about the appeals rights, because I have a brief ready and waiting.
Okay, and that will come. Are you Rachel's power of attorney?
I am.
Okay, thank you. And she made note of that address, and we did as well. So from now on, that
So-
address can be included.
The other, I can make a note to include that, but for the record, just so that you guys know, there is case law that talks about if we rely on the Wayne County property records, which I believe shows the 127. I am always happy to add any addresses that I know of, but just so that you know what case law says, we do have a right to legally rely on what property, and this is any property owner, right? Any property owner which can update the county records to let them know, hey, this is my new tax billing address.
Okay.
We have no control over the county either.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay.
And then as far as appeal, when it comes to an emergency hearing, the appeal process is really, because of the nature of this being an appeal, any appeal that you do would have had to have been done by virtue of going to court for an emergency injunction. That is all laid out in Indiana Code 36-7-9. I believe it's -9. 3679. So if you wanted to stop an emergency process, there is an injunction period where you would have had to have gone to court to review that.
The property's already been, B&B took over our job and interfered with our cleanup. So there is an action here because we were performing.
Did you go to court? Did you file for an emergency
We
injunction?
never received an emergency thing
So
except
did
until
you-
the 28th.
Did you file, once you knew that you were being interfered with allegedly, did you go to court?
I only knew it on September the 10th when Bill told me his boss told him that he had to use B&B because they had received the winning bid.
So as of September 10th, you have not filed anything with the Wayne County Circuit or Superior Courts?
No.
Okay.
I do have a question. So I'm a little confused here. Are you upset that they stopped the work or that they did the work?
That they stopped the work and did not allow us to do it so there would not become a lien on the property.
So you're going to pay for the cleanup anyways, correct?
We did pay for the cleanup. We paid the other guy. We're going to pay double. We were trying to do that. I told Bill that. We were trying to do that and trying to get it straightened out and get the squatters, the drug addicts out. I'm going to say that.
The property was cleaned up, correct?
By B&B.
By B&B. So
It was cleaned up partially by B&B and partially by Christopher's Towing.
what I'm getting at the end, so
So it was double
goal-
charged, yeah, basically.
so is that what you're upset? You was
And the fact that I was not dealt with truthfully about the order of the B&B coming in.
Let's back up here. Let's back up. Whatever the truth between him and you and his boss, that's between you.
You're asking me what I was upset about, and
I'm
Bill
asking
told
if
me,
it was the cleanup. Was the cleanup done?
as far as I can tell, it was done.
Yes. So that job was completed, and that's what we're going to vote on here. The other stuff is, that.
It was, but it was completed without the proper meeting. If you'll go back and look at your meeting minutes, take a look. Take a look in October of 2024 and take a look in July.
It sounds to me that you have more of a personal issue with Bill.
No, I do
instead of
not.
this house
I
issue.
do not at all. I went to
So-
Bill for help. I do not, and don't
It
make
sounds
it
to me
that.
that Bill
Well, that
offered to
sounds
help.
like that's your opinion, but it doesn't carry weight. It's not true.
Actually, my opinion, this does count.
It already has counted. You guys are letting me know, no matter what, you're going to do what you always do and rule on what he stated, and I'm stating that he lied to me.
So as a point of order, can I interrupt? As a point of order, this is not a cost hearing. This is only just confirming that an emergency did occur.
Sure.
So if that's what
And
you
it's to
both,
confer
if
that
that's
we were
what
working
you
on the
both
emergency.
agree to, that emergency did take place, then that is what the vote actually is. It's just affirming that an emergency had taken place.
Right?
And I think we have enough documentation to say that there was an emergency, it was taken care of, and any further issue you might have with departments.
It's a personal issue, is that
Well,
right?
we have no control over departments,
Okay.
police and/or code. We have no control over that, absolutely
You are
none.
the only committee members that I can come to, and I came to Bill. You're the only ones that we can come to. So I'm coming to you and telling you that the way this was handled, and you heard the tape. My daughter, I reprimanded my daughter, and I didn't go to anybody or try to do anything. So I'm telling you that I'm not sure how this hearing even exists. The ones you had, you never okayed the publication properly, according to your own rules.
She reads them every month.
Well, you go ahead and read it again, you'll see.
An emergency does not need a publication. If it's a cost hearing, yes, later a cost
The
hearing.
emergency only happened after I told him that she had a traumatic brain injury, and it didn't, and it was like this the whole time.
Okay.
According to the notes and everything, it was this way the whole time. Why, after I tell him, did this happen?
Any other questions for the staff?
No.
No.
Do you want to close public hearing?
We're going to close the public hearing. I'm going to make a motion to affirm the emergency action taken by the Enforcement Authority for the property located at 125 South 12th Street, as recommended by the Enforcement Authority and based upon the information provided by that Enforcement Authority with respect to the condition of the property.
Second.
Been a motion and a second to approve the emergency cleanup at the property located at 125 South 12th Street. Is there anything else to come before this board? Okay, we are adjourned.